right place. You set your dial to Tub, and that's where we're here to give you a back rub.
Yes.
They said we wouldn't last, but here we are again with the TUBCAST. My name is Eric. As always, I'm joined by Kyle.
Hello.
The guy in the Broncos hat.
And I'm Nathan, and thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah.
You're a special guest.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jeremy is out tonight as he is still recovering from that severe beatdown from Trevor.
Trevor.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah, Trevor just gave him the old. You just give him a
1-2
hard
Trevor-oo.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 1-2.
The 1-2 Trevor-oo.
Trevor, you. I'm gonna punch you.
Is that the phrasing you're going with?
This is a haiku.
You're a haiku.
Haikus don't rhyme.
Mine did because I'm changing the game, Nathan. I'm like I'm making things new. I'm making moves in places that people can't see. I'm on another landscape, man. It's like quantum mechanics.
I'm on portrait.
It's like quantum mechanics, okay? Because like you're here, I'm here, but like there's another me somewhere doing this, and it's way more successful. But you know, there's a lot of things.
Nathan, you are not doing it successfely, apparently.
Nathan's much more successful in my alternate reality.
I don't know what it is.
He's a fancy billionaire man who he eats like these little tiny grapes that he pulls before they get bigger, just because he doesn't want them to experience a full life.
Yeah.
And then he
It's
eats
like
them.
it's like the veal version of grapes.
It's like I call this my veal grapes. And that's what I eat. He's still a vegetarian.
It is true.
Actually, he's a vegan. That's where he got his $1 billion. He made the move. He went to the vegan side. He really pulled it out.
He cut his hair too. Looks a little dapper. You trimmed down your beard.
This Nathan or the other Nathan?
Wait, which Nathan are we talking about?
I'm talking about
He's
the
talking
other.
about alternate Nathan.
Oh, well, this is alternate Nathan. He doesn't have a beard. Look at him.
Oh,
he's
hey,
he's just got the old goatee.
He brought the tuft back.
Back?
Well, didn't you have that before?
Is this not my look?
Well, you used to have more of like a beard, like that.
Did
went
I?
Up the
For a while, you did.
Are you playing with us?
When did I do that?
Stop
Nathan?
screwing with us, Nathan.
Is this payback for all the times we've asked you, hey, can you see what color that is? Is that what this is?
I mean, you've only done that to me once or twice.
Your shirt is orange.
So it is.
Oh, man.
Why does that not get old? And how do you put up with that crap
He
from
probably
us
doesn't.
for as long as you have?
He has a murder list, and it's long. It's everyone who's made fun of his colorblindness.
You move. I mean, you probably tell Kuipers about how much you hate us every Thursday when you drive home,
Who's
right?
Kuipers?
Kuipers, the guy that drove you here.
He did?
Whoops.
Yeah. Okay, Nathan. I don't know how to go on with this. This is too weird.
I think the alternative Nathan is here, but this isn't the one I was describing. This is from yet another reality, and I'm not quite sure which reality it is.
I thought this was my reality.
I don't know what reality is in general, so maybe it is your reality.
I think that this Nathan is not colorblind in this from this reality.
Well, he did agree that his shirt was orange.
yeah,
so
it's getting weird now.
he knows colors.
Wait, what is your?
He's become sentient.
Wait, why wouldn't he be sentient?
I don't know. It's just like the thing with like robots when there's like the realization of, oh no, they've got sentience now. Now Nathan suddenly can see colors, so now he's that much more dangerous to us.
What does this alternative Nathan do for a living?
He works at camp.
Do you sing a lot of camp songs?
Yeah, I teach the kids like "We Will Rock You" and I had them sing "Another Brick in the Wall" Part 2 the other day.
Nice.
What do you make them? Do you punish them for putting their elbows on the table?
No,
Do you sing like a song about it?
no, I don't even know a song about putting your elbows on the table.
So Nathan, as a camp counselor / whatever your term of camping leadership is,
He's a camp
We
mortician.
like to say cabin leader because we don't actually have counseling
as
licenses.
a camp cabin leader, what do you do in the non-camp season? Like once the kids all go back to school.
Well, I'm hoping I'll go back to school too.
Okay. So you're in school.
Hopefully.
Nathan definitely went. I think what happened here is he time traveled, because this Tuft is reminding me of about 2011, Nathan.
Yep.
I think we've maybe not so much got an alternate dimension, Nathan, but I think
He's traveled from the past.
from like through a time vortex where Kuipers doesn't exist anymore in his mind.
Oh. I'm sorry, sir.
It's okay.
Kuipers is this man over here who does
Yeah.
the things, that makes the show work.
Pretty sure you walked in with him.
Did I?
He is not an Uber driver.
I thought he was just very friendly.
He's the friendliest Uber driver around. He'll come in with you. He'll just hang out, be a part of your life now.
Jolliver
pay him, though.
is singing the elbow song in the chat, at least what he imagines it to be, and he goes something like, "Do your elbows table? Do they table to and fro? Can you table them in a table? Can you table them in a table?" Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if that's the song, but I think it's close, and it's about elbows.
Yep, that's the elbow table song.
Just like the famous football player Tom Elbow.
Tom Elbow.
Yep,
Yeah.
Tom Elbow.
One of the greatest to ever
So-
play.
What year is it then?
Nathan, it's 2018.
Really?
You're not going to believe this, but Donald Trump is president.
I do not believe. How did that happen?
Can we show? I mean, do we have some footage?
No.
No? Okay.
Anyways,
How did that happen?
Someone
just find a newspaper.
Just find a newspaper. Go to Twitter. You know what Twitter is.
Okay, yes.
Go to
I
Donald
did just
Trump's
start using
Twitter
it.
account.
yeah.
Donald Trump Twitter.
This is weird.
It is really weird.
Nathan did look younger when he came in. I will admit that.
See, he's the president.
Well, you were right. Okay.
POTUS with the modus.
Wow.
What's a modus?
I thought Obama was still president.
No.
Yeah, that was like it's been 2 years.
He had a good run.
Okay. Did they ever make a Ghostbusters 3?
Well, kind of, but it's with women, and people got upset.
Yeah, people got
Is Harold Ramis in it at least?
I know he's dead.
Harold Ramis is dead?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's tragic.
The rest of them were in it.
I don't know how I feel about this.
The rest of them were in it.
Yeah, the rest of the Ghostbusters were all in it.
Oh, that's right, they were. They had like
They
weird
had like
cameos.
little cameos. I mean, technically,
Wait, did they even bust ghosts?
The
Yeah,
women
oh, yeah.
did. The women
But
did.
did the original Ghostbusters bust ghosts?
no.
There was mainly like unwarranted frisking of ghosts, and then they like plant drugs on them and then bust them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, so a gritty reboot of the Ghostbusters.
yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like like who's the guy that directed the what's that one movie with
Paul.
Denzel Washington? Not Payday, Crime Day,
Training Day.
Training Day. Yeah,
Crime Day.
Gangster Day. Yeah, the director of that directed the new Ghostbusters.
that would have been directed by if
It had
studio.
the cast was crazy though. It had Uma Thurman as one of the ghosts. She played the Egon.
And Antoine Fuqua. I don't know how to say that, and I'm not even going to try it. Fuqua. He directed. Yeah.
It had it had Mary Tyler Moore's clone.
Yep.
Mary Tyler Less.
It had Whitney.
Who else was it?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. That's right.
Anyways, welcome to the TUBCAST, and I guess we're just doing this weird shtick where Nathan supposedly traveled through time, but he's committing to it, so that's what's important here.
Nathan, what'd you think about Men in Black 2?
I don't remember that one that well. That's the one with the lady that's made of worms, right?
What if the flashy thing in Men in Black actually worked on the audience? So they like kept
Everybody thought it was a different movie.
Well, no, they just kept forgetting like what had happened like a few minutes ago.
That'd be the best marketing move ever, because then people would be like, well, I think I need to go see that again.
Yeah, just the end of the movie is
Yeah.
Will Smith flashing people. Ooh, go on. That's what you say now. Like
I say that now.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
your
you say,
thing. In
"Go
28
on."
You go on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of your thing.
Go on.
Yes.
I mean,
no,
he
no,
did-
it's more
you know,
provocative. It's not-
Before we even started, he didn't say that to something else.
Yeah,
that
but this
had me
is-
concerned.
yeah, it's like his thing. His 2018 thing is.
Yeah.
It's like more kind of in a weird like, yeah, provocative.
How does my girlfriend feel about that?
Well, he's
No.
indifferent.
No.
Wait, am I gay now?
No. No, you're not.
It's complicated.
Oh,
It's kinda
we're
like-
gonna have a long talk after the show.
It's kind of like a pendulum, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like how it goes
Kind of swings.
Oh, I'm a swinger now.
both ways.
Both ways. Anka Jazz.
Anka Jazz. He came into our chat blazing hot.
Yep.
Flaming,
Welcome.
I would say. He was
Welcome to the chat.
fiery hot there. Thank you for your salutations, sir or ma'am. Good day to you as well. I am very happy, I'd like to say.
I am too.
We're all
Thank you.
very happy and glad you came. And then this is where you say go on. This is where you
Go on.
No, you're saying it wrong.
I am?
Yes.
It's a little more like a go on.
Go on.
There it is.
I don't like relearning Nathan.
This is weird. I feel like we're programming him.
We can mold him into our own image.
That's
That's weird. Anyways, what's everybody been doing this week? Kyle, you start.
I saw Venom this week.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. Actually, it was one of those where I went into it
And you're like, this is
without a
gonna
lot of
suck.
expectations. My wife and I were both off on Monday, so she was like, "Let's go see a movie," and I was like, "Okay, you pick," and that was the one that she picked because nothing else looked like it was that great that was out
Are
that
you
she wanted to
kidding
see.
me? Are you?
I know, I know.
What was the new Bradley Cooper movie not out yet?
It is out, but she didn't want to see that, so she picked Venom. I know. I was surprised too because I was like, okay, I figured that's what we're gonna go see.
I really want to see that.
I kind of want to see it too. It looks like it's
choose
good.
that over Venom any day.
You want to go on a date?
Nope. I'm gonna
Okay.
take my wife to see it.
Okay.
Anyways.
no, Venom was an average movie. There was good, there was bad.
Mostly bad.
I don't know if I'd say mostly bad. It was a lot better than I expected it to be because I had very low expectations of it.
Okay.
And I know
You would say
I'm a
that though
fanboy.
about anything. I feel
no,
like.
I don't. I wouldn't.
I think you would. I think you would.
No, because there was enough in that trailer that I was like, I don't know that this is going to actually be good. I was thinking it was going to be like a Suicide Squad type of movie, and it wasn't. It was an average movie.
Like Suicide Squad.
No, Suicide Squad was bad. Suicide Squad was a bad movie.
I haven't seen Venom. I'm judging it merely
Right.
on its trailer.
Is it a spin-off from The Amazing Spider-Man?
Yes, Nathan.
Go home, old time traveling Nathan. You're annoying now.
I'm sorry, I'm just confused.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, the best part of it is if you like Tom Hardy, I think that you will be able to find it.
See, I'm just not the type of person that, like, if I like someone and they're in a bad movie, that makes me like the movie. Like, it just doesn't work that way for me. I don't know. It's like, you can say,
That's because Donald Glover hasn't been in any bad movies.
I'm just saying, like, you could say, like, hey, this person's in this, but it's bad, but you like the person. And I'll
I
probably
think-
give it a try, but it doesn't usually redeem it for me. Like, that's not like.
But
a
I mean,
thing.
I think with respect to that, I enjoy watching Tom Hardy be Tom Hardy.
But he's
Like
Venom.
he is, but I mean, he very much fits into a lot of the different things that he has been as characters in other movies, and
Yeah.
so I think he's one of those guys that he's good on screen, so it helps the movie when there isn't as much that's there. So I enjoyed it. It was definitely better than I thought it was. I was expecting to walk out going, that was just not good and the worst thing that Marvel has put out out of any of their movies since Spider-Man 3. But it wasn't. So Yeah. That's my thought.
That's Kyle's review
It's
of
average.
Venom. So there you go. Go see an average movie with Tom Hardy. Did you do anything else, Kyle?
No. I mean, I tried to avoid the monsoons of rains that we've had the last few weeks, but
Can't do it.
can't do it.
It's raining.
It just rains.
You're going to be in the rain if you go outside, unless you just hide all the time in your house.
Yeah, no, that's about it for me. I haven't really had anything exciting happen.
I've been doing nothing as well, so that makes for entertaining TUBCAST. I have...
Actually, I think one of the most exciting things I did was go out with you guys a couple weeks ago.
That was way too long.
That was
to
way
be
too long ago.
Incorporated in this.
You
even,
forgot it already.
Sure.
Nathan hasn't even experienced it yet.
He didn't.
It's like 7 years in the future for him.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
no, if it's 2018, I think it's only 5 years in the future.
From 2011?
No,
That's 7 years.
he was the one who said 2011. I thought it was 2013.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Then that changes things,
Okay.
I guess.
Not by much.
So what, have you done anything in 2013, Nathan?
I had a dream that I wanted to share with you guys.
Cool.
Okay.
So my dream was that Batman was also in love with Lois Lane. So she decided she was going to have a competition to see whether Batman or Superman knew her better.
Wait, who was also in love with Lois Lane?
Batman.
Oh, okay. But not the other way around. She didn't love him.
She was open to the idea.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I feel like this is going in a dark place.
it turned out that they both got like 60% of the test right, but it wasn't the same 60%. There was some overlap, obviously, because that's how percentages work. So then, after Batman realizes this, he goes to Superman and is like, hey, we should work together so we can get closer to 100%. And Lois caught on and was like, oh, if you two work together, you're like the perfect boyfriend. So she started dating both of them. And that was my dream. I don't think they liked my story.
I just don't know what I don't know what to say about that.
I watched American Horror Story on TV. The new season's all right.
There you go. I have not started watching any of the shows that I usually watch in the fall.
They brought back they're bringing back all the characters from the past seasons to come back to this new season, and it's crazy because a lot of the actors overlap, and so they're reprising their old roles while interacting with themselves from other roles, and it's really kind of crazy, but they've done it really well. And
So what? It's just a whole bunch of people that are talking to themselves.
well, no,
As
but,
other characters?
there's more overlap than most things.
Okay.
I mean, because they've introduced a lot of characters over the years, but
Right.
it's definitely one of the more interesting seasons in a long time.
I watched like half of the first season, and I just kind of was like, I don't know that this really seems like it's the show that I'm going to get into long term. Because it didn't draw me in the way that I hoped that it would, and then I was like, I don't really care about this with the subsequent.
It was too scary.
No, it wasn't that. It was just, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it, and that's just probably it.
I mean, it was no Venom, so I'll say that much.
I didn't say that I loved Venom. I said I saw it.
I know.
It was a movie.
I'm being rude. I get it.
You're just saying that because I probably spoke kinder about it than you probably would have.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I probably will never see it.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's my fault. It's my loss.
I don't know if it's your loss. I don't
Better
think it's...
Call Saul season finale just happened.
I haven't watched any of it this season.
That was really good. They're
still one of the best shows on TV.
I mean, that's debatable. It's still
Okay.
really good, but yeah. I started watching the new season of Walking Dead. That's awful as ever.
Even with all the hype that it's supposed to be the
the first episode just was not enjoyable at all. They pretty much leaned hard into all the bad parts of that show, like whatever they've done in the past that hasn't worked. They were just like, let's do more of that.
I honestly haven't.
I don't know that I can watch that. I really want to see it through, but man, it is painful.
I haven't watched it in. Has it been a couple seasons since we used to have watching parties?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I don't think I've watched any since our watching parties.
Let's see. But yeah, I think some of the TV's starting to come back, but that's kind of all I've done.
Yeah.
I really do want to see A Star Is Born. I think that looks great, but I also I'm a sucker for music movies. And that's that.
I did recently start watching that documentary on Netflix that came out a bit ago, The Toys That Made Us, and just started watching the He-Man one. I had no idea that He-Man was not a TV show before the toys, like that started as a toy line that turned into the TV show and all the extra comics and everything else that it's
Really?
It's the same way it was with the Transformers and to a lesser extent Teenage Mutant Ninja
The toys
Turtles.
were first.
I knew that the Transformers toys were first.
G.I. Joe, a lot of cartoons from the 80s.
I knew G.I. Joe's, and those ones made sense. I guess I just hadn't realized it, and maybe it's because I never really saw. I never had friends that had He-Man toys growing up.
Really?
So I didn't. It was always G.I. Joe's, Star Wars, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, He-Man was a little before your time.
And it might have been a little bit before my time too. So by the time I was actually playing with those toys and seeing them, those were the three that were the real big ones.
Were
still.
Thundercats the same way?
I think Thundercats was the TV show first.
Oh, okay. I mean, a lot of TV was. I mean, I get it. A lot of TV was made just to sell the toys.
Sure.
But I honestly didn't know that about any of them. I didn't know that the toys came first.
Well, and it's crazy too when you think about that. Like, it's weird being able to see like advertisements from like the very early 80s, late 70s of these toy stores that were around and being like, man, the world is so different from when I was a kid. Like, just the fact that I don't know that there's any real toy stores that are out there anymore other than, the potentially coming back Toys R Us for whatever that will be and the pop-up KB toy stores. But otherwise, everything is all online, or you go into a Walmart and Target. Like, that's pretty much it anymore. That you just don't have that stuff. And like this episode that I was watching with the He-Man, and it's like, hey, here's this second biggest toy store. I've never heard of it before I watched that, and I was like, that's insane that it had not even really existed like 10 years later, and that it was, because I mean, growing up, the only things that I really knew of toy store wise was KB Toys and Toys R Us. So,
yeah, I think. I mean, that's honestly that's all that there ever was as we were kids, and even to this day. I mean, there's never like a toy store that really took off.
Right, but there were other ones that were back at that time that just it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so there is that. But the Toys R Us thing, we talked a little bit about that last week.
Yeah, that they're supposed to be coming back in some way, shape, or form, or they decided not to file bankruptcy because they had too much value in their name.
Whoa, it was funny because I heard that. Where was I today? Oh, I think I was walking into a Halloween store, and there was some people walking in front of me. And it was in an old Toys R Us. And this lady's like, yeah, it sounds like they're coming back, but they're not going to be under the name Toys R Us. And I was like, lady, what are you talking about? It's weird that the misinformation and how fast it'll travel that people will
Right.
just like, I mean, the article pretty much stated the reason they were bringing it back was because the brand had so much money behind its
Right.
name. Like,
And I don't
it was
know
so
if it was-
recognizable. It's like, they're not going to bring Toys R Us back and call it something else. They're going to maybe
Right.
do it differently. They might have smaller stores. They might have like focus more on online,
Right.
but still
and
it's like,
the articles that I had read seemed like they indicated that they had like like they owned certain toy brands too that with their value was more. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that, if that's something that they can carve out a niche, because everything's just so different now with the way that the internet has everything so connected. It's just nothing will ever be the same. I mean, your kids are growing up in a world that's completely different than anything that we would have experienced, and just how fast everything has changed. I mean, even Nathan over here from 2013 doesn't have any idea what we're talking about with half of this stuff.
I didn't know Toys R Us went away.
yeah, it's a long story. Google it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got 2018 internet. You can Google it.
Okay.
So, going into some of the news of this week, this was one thing that was going around a lot on social media, that Banksy had at some point, I think it was even maybe 2000, was it 2008? I don't know. It was a while ago. It wasn't maybe that long ago, but he had built a frame that had a shredder in it, just in case this painting of his were to ever go up for auction, so that it would self-destruct. And it did. It went up for auction, and once the auction was done, I think it sold for $1.4 million.
Wow.
And at that point, the frame just started to shred the piece of art. And just watching these art people who just are so just awful, and there's just bad meat people, just like, I don't know, just gross
Right.
people who would spend $1 million on a piece of art.
Right.
Anyways, they're all just like freaking out, losing their minds. Like they just saw someone put a baby in a shredder. Like it's like the most, I don't know, sad display of humanity I have seen in a long while. Kuipers,
how
are
did
we
it
able to bring
know-
up the video of it when it actually happens?
How did it
Oh,
know
good.
it was supposed to shred? Like, was it
That I don't know. I didn't dive into the story that much.
like, was that? I'm wondering, like, is that something that he had? Like,
It's in the agenda. If you click on it, there's a link.
okay.
But yeah, I'm not positive what. I think Kuipers is getting the video brought up.
Here we go.
Oh, they didn't even show the people's reactions. That's annoying. I wonder if they couldn't. Yeah. We know there's a hurricane. Anyways,
It sounds like the woman who did buy it, or who had bought it, went through with the purchase.
I mean, why not? Just that's art in itself. This
Yeah.
painting halfway out of a frame,
Yep.
shredded. I'd just hang that on my wall.
I mean, that's what she said. She said
That's
she
what she
has
said.
her own piece of art history.
Shut up, Nathan.
Dang it, Nathan.
That The Office hasn't been a thing for a while. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I'm wondering if he had something that he could remotely
It had to have been.
Which
Which also means he had to have been in that room, right?
Right.
Or he paid someone to be in that room, I guess, to do it. But it's funny to see. It's a funny thing to watch, and it's I don't know. I haven't really followed the whole Banksy thing that closely, but
me either.
I know that he's a popular artist who remains anonymous, as we already heard. I just wonder what it is. What does it take to capture the public's attention in a way that they're willing to pay so much money for your art? Like, because it's so subjective. It's not
Right.
It's not that he's doing something that someone else couldn't. It's just the way he's going about it. Like the way he's self-marketing himself, even though he, in some ways, kind of acts as if he is not marketing or he's against marketing. Thank you to Irrelevant Native who just subscribed 2 months in a row.
Thank you.
2 months in a row. Hey. You know what? Jolliver subscribed right before the show really kicked off there. So why don't we just go ahead and give him a little round of applause, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Jolliver. You all deserve it. We really do apologize about Nathan tonight. For some reason, he thinks it's 2013 and he has a bad
I have been made aware it's 2018.
Kuipers,
5 years of amnesia.
Kuipers, did he fall on his head or something?
No.
Are you
Think
sure?
So.
You didn't like you didn't have any kind of hijinks at your place.
I know he's staying in your basement at your new house. Is there like a high radon levels or something down there?
I
that's
may need to
playing?
test it when we get back.
I would
Yeah,
suggest
I would
that.
test it.
Because the fact that we do a show that's based on current events and he seems to be stuck in a time tailspin from 2013, it's really not working well for the
Yeah,
show. And I don't know how well that'll work into the future.
Right.
He may get a pink slip in his mailbox.
Oh. I won't be able to tell it from the other slips, though.
Oh, because you're colorblind. Oh, 2013 Nathan makes his own colorblind
He makes his own
jokes.
colorblind joke.
Oh, okay, I see. It's okay now.
Yes.
Is that because 2013 Nathan didn't hang out with us enough to get tired of him?
Get tired of the colorblind joke.
Well, I mean, I know you guys.
Are you at 2013? Are you still known as Naked Nathan, where you appear in the nude a lot around people?
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. Well,
Kuipers, does 2018 Nathan do that a lot?
If he does, he keeps it to the basement at least.
Okay.
Okay.
oh,
Good to know.
to be a fly on the wall, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right.
Relevant Native says the nose is back. I believe he's talking about Kuipers.
Nope, he's talking about.
Or he's
Nathan.
talking about me.
No, he's talking about Nathan.
Nathan.
Me.
Yeah, remember because he was the guy in the box before.
Oh, right.
And nose guy. Yeah.
Nude Nate.
Nude Nate.
Yep, that's him.
Disseminate. All right, other news. This is news of the day. I'm just saying this is the news of the now, and I would like to go ahead and just if you have a problem with either of these two individuals, this might be hard for you, but just hear it out. Here's the thing, is I am in the mindset of that sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and listen and just try to parse what is happening in this world right now. But when you have Kanye West visiting the Oval Office and just yammering on and on and on to the president, Donald Trump, this is just the most interesting. It is hard to sum up. So we're going to watch. Don't hang up. Please don't leave.
Yeah, don't hang up. Don't leave.
Don't hang up the phone. Don't shut off the internet. Don't take your ear pods out of your ears. Don't close the application you're using to listen to this.
Yeah.
Keep
it rolling.
We're going to try to talk through this with you, but we have to do this. I know that you've probably seen the headlines, but I have a feeling that most people have not taken the time to watch this video and watch this interaction. And I think it's interesting to try to dissect it. And if you keep an open mind, I'm not saying you have to like either of these people, but just keep an open mind and try to understand what is going on. Like, I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying let's all together try to just understand what each of these people are trying to accomplish in this. Because you hear some parts of it where Kanye it sounds like he's trying to bring some unity to this country.
Sure.
And I hate him or love him, whatever. I'm not trying to give him praise for this, but in some ways it's just kind of like, okay, he's definitely trying to mend something. Like he knows that there needs to be like some healing in the country for people. Like,
sure.
And he's trying in a really weird Kanye way. And Trump is just eating it up and almost digging himself into a hole in certain situations because Kanye's pressuring him into doing things. There's one point where Kanye asks Trump to change what his hat says, and he said he actually brought some new hats in that have a new slogan on them. So let's go through this. We're going to talk over it a little bit where we can. It's going to be hard to get a word in edgewise, but let's just watch it together. Let's try to understand the world we live in, and this is going to be extra confusing for 2013, Nate.
Hello.
I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrat. They say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs, and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs, that's Rom's right-hand man. So I think it's the bravery that helps you beat this game called life. They tried to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. My dad and my mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also, I'm married to a family that, no, going on. It's beautiful, though. But there's times where, it's something about, I love Hillary. I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Ralph Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit. Put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and
Kuipers, you hear that?
Right
Get
now,
on the delay,
it gives me the
Kuipers.
heart to go to Adidas, because at Adidas, when I went in 2015, we were a $14 billion company losing $2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. And I went to Casper. We had a meeting in Chicago. And I said, you have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had the balls, because I had enough balls to put on this hat. I mean, this Adidas thing made me a billionaire, and I could have lost $200 million walking away from that deal. But even with that, I knew it was more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal than to have no fathers in Chicago with no homes. And when we do have prison reprobation because it's habilitation, not rehabilitation, because we didn't have the abilities in the first place. We never had anyone that taught us. We didn't teach us. Exactly, we had no one that taught us. Right? So it's more important than any specific deal, anything that we bring jobs into America, and that we provide a transition with mental health and the American education curriculum that Jim has worked on. Larry Hoover also has
His ability to ramble
we have Montessori
and go across all over the place in this just thought diarrhea of the mouth is crazy.
There's a lot of things affecting our mental health that makes us do crazy things, that puts us back into that trap door called the 13th Amendment. I did say abolish with the hat on, because why would you keep something around that's a trap door? If you're building a floor, the Constitution is the base of our industry, right?
I gotta say at this point, Trump looks a little bit bored.
Would you build a trap door?
does.
That if
I
you
think he's
mess
looked
up,
like that for a few minutes.
you fall and you end up next to the Unabomber, you got to remove all that
what?
trapdoor out of the relationship.
Wait, did he just say that the Constitution's built on a floor and the Unabomber lives under the floor?
I think so.
It's perfect. We don't have 13 floors, do we? So the four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment didn't look like the people they were amending. Also, at that point, it was illegal for blacks to read, or African Americans to read. And so that meant if you actually read the amendment, you get locked up and turned to a slave. Again, so what I think is we don't need sentences, we need partners. We need to talk to people. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I was connected with a neuropsychologist that works with the athletes in the NBA and the NFL. And he looked at my brain. It's equal on 3 parts. I'm going to go ahead, drop some bombs for you. 98 percentile IQ test. I had a 75 percentile of all human beings, but it was counting 8 numbers backwards after it was repeating. So I'm going to work on that one. The other one's 98%. Tesla, Freud. So
What?
He said
Tesla, Freud.
Actually, bipolar.
Okay.
I had sleep deprivation, which could cause dementia 10 to 20 years from now, where I wouldn't even remember my son's name. So all this power that I got, and I'm taking my son to the Sox game and all that, I wouldn't be able to remember his name from a misdiagnosis. And what we need is we can empower the pharmaceuticals and make more money. That's one thing. I've never stepped into a situation where I didn't make people more money. So we can empower pharmaceuticals. We can empower our industries. We can empower our factories. We can bring not only Adidas on shore, we could bring Foxconn to set up a factory in, I think, Minnesota. 53,000.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah, not Minnesota. It's like Minnesota of the South.
Things we got to set forward to have the highest design, the dopest cars, the most amazing. I don't really say dope. I don't say negative words and try to flip them. We just say positive, lovely, divine, universal words. So the flyest,
Divine,
freshest,
universal
most
words.
amazing car. And what we want to
Oh gosh,
is
what's he doing on his phone?
I brought a gift with me right here. This right here.
His password is 000000000.
It's a
That is true.
hydrogen-powered airplane, and this is what our president should be flying in. Look at this, Jared.
We'll get rid of Air Force One. Can we get rid of Air Force One? No, you don't like that.
You don't like that idea.
American company work on this plane with. But you know what I don't like?
Zoom in on the president's
It's not that
face.
I don't like. What I need Saturday Night Live to improve on, or what I need the liberals to improve on is if he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president. He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes, the best factories, and we have to make our core be empowered. We have to bring jobs into America because our best export is entertainment and ideas. But when we make everything in China and not in America, then we're cheating on our country. And we're putting people in positions to have to do illegal things to end up in the cheapest factory ever, the prison system.
I'll tell you what, that was pretty impressive. I hate to say this, Jim. Do you want to say something? What do you do after that?
You don't mind if I...
Okay, so wow, that wasn't even the whole thing. Like we watched, that was 7 minutes, and that wasn't even, like, I tuned in on it live today, and that wasn't even what I saw. That is weird. Why did they cut that off? See, we're gonna talk about this for a minute. Kuiper, see if you can find some more of that. The last part of it. So was anybody able to make out anything useful that
I don't know that I made anything useful out in that.
real
that
quick,
portion.
Irrelevant Native, we saw the GIF you tagged us in. It's fake news. Fake news. It's not true.
Yeah, I don't think it was accurate.
It's fake news. That was not on his phone when he unlocked it. But hey, talented individuals made that GIF. They made it look
did.
real.
It looked
And
real.
Nathan is mimicking my hand motions now. Yeah, it was. So did you learn something?
I don't know if I learned. I learned that Kanye was diagnosed with bipolar, but he doesn't have bipolar because he just had sleep deprivation. Is that what he said?
No, I thought he was diagnosed with sleep deprivation.
Oh, originally,
and then they were like, no, well,
Okay.
maybe you have sleep. You're losing sleep because you're bipolar. Is that what it was?
I really don't know.
So I found a video from Time magazine that's an hour 14 minutes long.
And it's
I don't think we have that much
the whole
time.
thing.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Is
Let's
it on?
suppose that you're writing.
Is it on YouTube or?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay. All right, bring it up and I'll have you skip around in just a little bit.
You just want to find the hat part, don't you?
I just want to. There's two parts where he really pins Trump in this awkward moment, and gets Trump to agree to some stuff. This is only 7 minutes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Kuipers. This is 7 minutes.
Unmute it. Let's hear where it's at. Unmute it real quick. Let's hear where it's coming. Maybe it's later on.
And I think it'd be cool to have Yeezy ideation centers, which
No,
would be
we heard
a
this.
mix of.
Did we?
So hit that 23-minute one over there, right on the side. 23 minutes top. Yep.
Jim Brown, greatest of all time.
Okay, go a little.
And what I
Go towards the end.
No, Kanye, everybody.
Yeah.
Have land, they settle for brands. We want Polo Sport and Obama again. We want a brand more than we want land because we haven't known how it feels to actually have our own land and have ownership of our own.
Okay,
When you don't have
let's go a little further.
then it's all about how something looks. They know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me? Oh,
Whoa.
that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall.
Okay, keep going. Go.
I kind of like that. He almost is like, yeah, this guy may be racist, but that doesn't stop me from liking him.
Genes in Vietnam. So we're going to need to get a few breaks to be able to have some places in my hometown of Chicago and the 2.7 million to the 9 million surrounding suburbs where we can create some factories. Now, I think it would be cool for them to be Trump factories because he's a master of industry. He's a builder. And I think it would be cool to have Yeezy ideation centers.
Okay,
which
skip
would
ahead
be
because
a
here,
mix of
go way ahead because this was
education,
like this last 7 minutes we were.
racism and slavery and different things. It hurts us because we need to focus on who we are.
Even more?
Now,
Yeah.
today.
Has been incredible. All over the world they're talking about this, and I have to tell you, I had important
Okay, go back a
meetings
little
with
bit.
senators and with
We're here together, and our greatest value that people have are other people. And we need to stop working on red and blue. It's like a gang again.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay,
You're in the Oval Office.
skip back more. Sorry, I had you go too far.
Trump wearing the Make America
Okay,
Great
go a little bit
hat.
before- we're close.
Holland, bit of a transition. That Trump.
A little bit more back. We're almost there. There we go.
Again.
Let's just go here.
And I believe my feeling from that is because I'm going to go all the way Sigmund with it because time is a myth.
Sorry.
All we have
Just a
is
little
now,
bit
all we
more
have
further
is
back.
today.
We
So
missed
the
this
word again
beginning
is
of this
listen,
point.
Curtis, we have a good, and the thing is, let's stop worrying about the future. All we really have is today. We just have today, over and over and over
Okay,
again.
this is-
The
he's getting close to
eternal
talk
hero's
about
journey. And
The Make America Great Again
Trump is on his
half.
hero's journey right now.
Trump is
And
on his hero's
he
journey,
might
by the way.
have expected to have a crazy like Kanye West.
Whoa, he dropped the F-bomb there.
Support,
He did.
But
That journalist
Thank
was
you.
amused.
Thank you for getting that for us, Kuipers.
Yeah, you beeped it this time.
People have an issue with the word
Here it goes.
again, and I believe my feeling from that is because I'm going to go all the way Sigmund with it because time is a myth. All we have is now. All we have is today. So the word again, it doesn't hurt us because of the idea of racism and slavery and different things. It hurts us because we need to focus on who we are now, today. I believe. So I actually brought some hats in that have a bit of a transition. I'm not trying to put you up there, smile a little bit. I made a hat that says Make America Great. Just that. But I would love to see, at the Super Bowl, Trump wearing the Make America Great hat, Colin wearing the Make America Great, and showing that we can bend a bit on this side, we can bend a bit on this side, and we can learn how to be malleable in the infinite universe that we are and the loving beings that we are. That we don't have to stick to all traditions. And we aren't a side. We are one unit. We are one country. We are one moment in history and time. We might have been here before, but right now, we're here together. And our greatest value that people have are other people. And we need to stop working on red and blue. It's like a gang again.
Let me ask you this question. You're in the Oval Office.
Okay.
How does it feel to be in the Oval Office?
Oh, it is good energy in this.
Isn't it good energy? Yeah.
It's good energy.
It's a great place. Jim, how do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I truly feel good.
Anyways, we can take it off here.
Yes, so
I don't know, the guy he keeps referring to as Jim Brown.
Jim Brown?
He was like falsely convicted of a bunch of felonies. He was in prison for a long time, and then he, obviously they found out that he was falsely in prison. They released him, and he's some sort of poster boy for whatever they're doing in Chicago. Jolliver, thank you for the bits. Show us your bits.
Show us the bits.
Shave and a haircut.
They were salt
10
bits.
bits.
He
Because
bidded us because he's so
He's
angry.
angry.
What makes you the angriest about it, Jolliver? Let us know in the chat.
He already said because he can't hit any of these people.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry that you want to hit all the journalists, or
All the people taking pictures.
It was really annoying to just hear.
Yeah.
It's like listening to crabs eat.
You'd think that in 2018 we'd have better camera technology, so we didn't have to hear the shutter.
Yeah. I maybe we took up too much time with this, but I'm fascinated by what is happening in our culture. Like, for one, that like it takes celebrity voices to get anybody to pay attention to anything. Like
True.
whether you
Look who you guys elected.
Well, that's true. I know. Well, I mean, it started with Ronald Reagan.
Staying in 2013.
It started with Ronald Reagan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just went downhill from there. We just got a thing for celebrities.
Jolliver updated it. He said them and you for making me watch this.
I'm sorry. But I think even Jolliver, if you listen to it for a second, like does it all of this makes me just wonder, like what, like you look at like the what's her face, his rival,
Hillary?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
She came out in favor for a Democrat this last week.
Sure.
And like that's everybody started talking about it, right? It's the biggest deal in the world. Like Taylor's supporting this thing. Mm-hmm. So it just proves that we only listen to celebrities as a general society and as a broad stroke. Mm-hmm. We're only capable of having opinions based on what opinions celebrities have.
Which is why people come here.
Because of
Go
famous
on.
stats. You're getting there. You're getting close.
You're getting closer.
Do it more in front of a mirror. And then,
Go on.
No, not here. Like
Not
at home.
here.
Practice. Slap on the hand for all the. Why are you slapping me on the hand, Jolliver?
For making him watch this.
Don't get upset. I think it's educational.
It's one of those things that's. I mean, I think it's the interesting aspect that the things that Kanye said that really fascinate me are the fact that he wants to just eliminate the divide, and he wants people to just get along and try to work together.
He wants the president to have a sweet airplane.
Yeah, and he wants the president to have a fly airplane. In the universal,
I mean, time isn't a thing, okay? We just made it up. We just made up time. It's not a thing.
Universe and the things.
It's just we got the thing right here, right
black
now.
holes and supernaturals.
Yeah,
I love the fact that I mean, as much as he is on the Trump train, he also is putting him on the spot with that question of, hey, I think that you and Colin Kaepernick should both be there at the Super Bowl and making amends and figuring this stuff out, because we all need to get along together, whether we necessarily agree with one thing or another. Like even when he said, I like Hillary, she's great, but she wasn't the person that I wanted to be running the country. It doesn't mean that I hate her or anything like that. And I think there's not enough talk like that in today's society where we can get along and say, yeah, I don't necessarily like this person and their politics, but I don't hate them and think that everybody who ever supported them is just an absolute buffoon and idiot, and that seems like that's just the way that everybody thinks about politics anymore, which is just sad. What were you going to say, Nathan?
Didn't he say he didn't support Hillary because he was looking for a father figure?
pretty much.
Well,
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, he did say that. But I mean,
I don't think that's a political thing. That's that's a Kanye thing.
But I mean, I like the fact that he mentions her, and he mentions her in not necessarily a negative way, the way that Trump always, crooked Hillary or takes a shot at people when he mentions them if he doesn't like them. Kanye kind of mentions her, and in the same breath that he mentions her, he says, I like her. I don't have any hatred for her because I don't hate anyone, and I still didn't vote for her. Like, why can't people get to that point where we can get along?
I think it's a thing of too, like you don't like Trump, you don't like Kanye, right? If you're in that party or in that camp,
Sure.
I guess, of saying that, and you hear one of them say, "Oh, why can't we get along? Let's cross the divide." you're immediately going to go, I don't like either of them. I don't want to hear that. Whatever, you're stupid.
Right.
But if it was on the other side and it's somebody on that's more in favor to what you believe or agree in, and they were to suggest that, you might be like, oh yeah, we need to try to start mandating these, these wounds in America. We need to start, and you can agree. So it's hard when you have someone that's so polarizing suggesting this very moderate viewpoint, because it's like you've already done your damage in a lot of people's eyes. Like I think like Jolliver's a good example of that, where it's just like this, like celebrities should not have the status that they do, like the influence that they do. And it's one of those things where it's like, I almost wonder, he's had a lot of conversations with people after some of his Twitter statements and things like that. So you now almost see this thing of him, he's trying to justify his Trump support, because he doesn't want to be told, he's not going to back down on that and disown Trump at this point. But he's also kind of like realizing the responsibility he has for the community he represents, and people who looked up to him who are disappointed in him now. Like, it's almost like he's starting to acknowledge that and go, okay, hey, maybe I could be a catalyst here to try to mend things. And I feel like Trump is in such everything's a popularity contest to him, that someone like this, who he, for whatever reason, is starting to respect him or whatever. Like, if Kanye is coming in there going, hey, you and Colin need to like wear these hats that just say "Make America Great," and like you need to get along and just be at the Super Bowl and show America that, hey, we can move past this stuff. Like, and it's like, that's in some ways, to me, that's like the weirdest sense of hope I have seen in a while. And it's not because I'm like, I'm not a pro-Trump guy. I admittedly, I like Kanye, but that's not, I think he's crazy in a fascinating way. But yeah, but it's just a thing of like, I think there's like a glimmer of, hey, maybe people can try to do, I don't know. It's like, can they use their power? Which I agree with J. Oliver that like, celebrity influence is kind of a disease in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like, it just our country is so obsessed with that. I mean, whether it's a celebrity or a celebrity like Trump, who is just mainly a celebrity for his business. Like, oh hey, he's a successful business person. Everybody in America wants to be that, or they think they're going to be that, or whatever. It's just
Irrelevant Native says, I feel like his intentions are good, but execution is a bit skewed. And I think that seems accurate, at least from what he has said in this realm of conversation. It seems like he wants to try and at the very least bring people together.
And it's funny because, like Jolliver said, I really wonder if you gave him a pile of downers, if something coherent would come out of him. And I think, I mean, I understand what you mean, but I think the incoherency of it all, if you try to like dissect it a little bit though, there's so many like little tiny baby little microscopic pearls in there, where there's things he's saying that are actually really good. Like I mean, I'm not like, aside from the crazy
they're
things,
not delivering it right, and they're surrounded by all of the back and forth of where he's going and meandering and rambling. Yeah, but there are some decent ideas, and that's I was telling my wife was saying something about this the other day with the way that Kanye has made waves with wearing the Make America Great Again hat and all this stuff, and I'm like, I think that the kind of crazy that he has, he's stumbled his way into potentially being able to do a lot more than what he ever intended to do with his, getting to know Trump and supporting Trump. I don't think that he's going down the path in the way that he expected to, because I mean, even just the idea that he's sitting there in the Oval Office and he feels confident enough to throw this out at Trump without giving him any preface, saying, hey, I think you and Colin Kaepernick should hang out and be at the Super Bowl in front of all these reporters, and putting him on the spot. Like, that's something that, he doesn't necessarily agree with everything that Donald Trump thinks. And he just showed that right there. And I think that that's one of those things that there just needs to be more of that, where people can agree to disagree And it doesn't mean that you have to be 100% behind everything and anything that a person does in a political sense. It doesn't make any sense that you would live and die by everything that a politician says or does.
Yeah. No, I guess I think part of me deep down, maybe I'm grasping at straws, and that's just my own like little bit of like desire from my own heart, is just that we could move. Like, I feel like everybody is just so entrenched in hate in this country that they align politically with something because they find their own sense of unity in aligning with an idea or a movement, and that they can just plant their feet behind this party line and just fight it out with anybody on the other side, no matter what it is. It could be the most like common sense, logical thing, and they would just fight it because of what that person supposedly stands for. And I got news for you. These lines, this Republican Democrat, this has never been this big of a thing. Like it's always been a big deal as far as voting, whatever, but it's never been like live or die by it. Like, politicians used to be able to cross the line, shake hands, agree, compromise, and move forward. And right now in this country, we are so stuck on, I'm right, this is right, they're wrong, and we can't move past it. And it's
way back in the day, the second runner-up for the presidential election would become the vice president.
Yeah, I know. And then we were okay with it, the country was okay with it. And I think here's the thing, is like, if you've ever been in a situation in your life where you've been at a work situation or you've been in any type of confrontational situation, and if you have two people on opposite ends of an argument, if you can find that one person that can come in between and find the common ground and start to mend that conversation, and then people can relax, they can start to breathe, and they can realize that, hey, you know what? They're validated. They have valid opinions. They have valid feelings, but so does the other person. And you can start to see the common ground that will bring them together. And I feel like right now in this country, we just are incapable of doing it out of our own will. Like we are incapable of just being friendly. Like we have social media that gives us the ability to hide behind this picture, this selfie that we took, and then we get a fight with people and say all these terrible things and not have to look them in the eye and see how bad that makes them feel. Like, we just get to do whatever we want and think it's okay and justify it because of, we're red or we're blue. And I thought it was funny how he's like, red and blue, like, what is this, the gangs again? Like, it's like, he's like, is this the Bloods and the Crips? Like, that's the point we're at right now, where we are literally just fighting because of something we have aligned ourselves with, that at the end of the day, there's maybe only a handful of things that we disagree on. Like, ultimately, like, I mean, there is not that many things that really separate people from this stuff. And
I mean, the funny thing is too, if you were to have a conversation with a lot of people without having the pretext of what they believe or what they think in their political affiliations, you could probably get along with them without having to go through figuring all of those things out. And then you would probably be, in a lot of cases, kind of, oh, that's weird that you would think that way politically, and not necessarily be somebody that you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to just hate you because of that. It doesn't make any sense. I know too many people on both sides that I can get along with fine, and we don't have to have conversations about politics all the time and agree about that. I can still be friends with people that believe things differently than me and that think differently than me, and it doesn't have to be like I need all of my friends to think exactly the same way that I do, or else they are just stupid, ignorant people that shouldn't be allowed to live on this earth. That's not how life works. Nobody in the world is going to believe everything that you do the exact same way. And I mean, you look at anything. I mean, politics, religion. Even within all of those different segments, there are going to be people that believe things differently. You look at in politics. If you're on the right, you're going to think about certain things differently than everybody else on the right does. Not everybody on the right is in agreement. Not everybody in the left is in agreement. So
you could even say there are alternatives on the right.
Okay.
Oh, shut up, Nathan.
What?
You're from 2013. You shouldn't even really know what that means yet.
Yeah, that hasn't populated.
That
yet.
hasn't been that big of a deal. Yeah, I would just say I'd like to end all this on. It's like, hey, I know that my perspective. I come from a much more like independent like viewpoint because I tend to agree with the pieces of both sides, and it's like I can never take anything whole cloth. Like I could never just align with a side and be like, yep, that's me. I'm gonna fight the party line. Like that's all I'm gonna do right there, Senator. There's things on both sides that I can agree with. I'm not gonna agree with everything on both sides. It's just never gonna happen for me personally. So it's like maybe we need another. But the problem is an independent, is never gonna win the election as it is right now because they're not popular enough.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe.
But I mean, look at this.
Maybe if Kanye ran as an independent.
Look at this panel. We've got a
2024.
lot of differences.
Yeah.
We all get along and are friends.
I mean, Kyle likes Venom movies. Nathan's from 2013, and he's doesn't know he's bi yet.
Not by yet.
I'm what? That explains your comment earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, did we get a Kuiper's redeem and we missed it?
No, it was a Kuiper slap. No, it was.
He was wanting me to slap you guys.
Oh, still?
No, he wanted Nathan to slap us.
Oh, yes.
Why Nathan
No,
slap
hey, you
us?
can't redeem that. He didn't pay any actual tub bucks.
Wait, why? Who gets to slap Nathan then?
Yeah, no one.
Why doesn't Nathan get a slap?
It was.
I don't know.
It was one of those weird, not actually a redeem thing.
Am I a disappointment now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Jeremy's the disappointment.
He's not here. Don't say that.
I know, but that's why he's a
hurt his
disappointment.
feelings.
He's not here.
All right, everyone.
We're disappointed he's not here.
We, as usual, don't have any more. Oh, real quick, Jolliver, come in there last minute, slide in. He's got time here. He says political system is broken. The one thing to come out of Trump is exposure of just how jacked up it really is. Hey,
Yep.
You know what? Maybe that's a road to fixing that problem right there. Hopefully it is. Hopefully, but I think before we fix it, we all need to kind of just learn to compromise just a little bit and realize that it's going to be okay. But can I just real quick, he brought this point up now that I'm thinking it's like the one thing Trump has done is he's definitely made the left much more like they at least attempt to be much more morally minded than I believe they used to be, where now like they get very defensive over women's rights, rightfully so, women's rights and things, but they've supported presidents in the past who were womanizers and other things like that, but but it's brought this thing out where they're like, can you believe Trump would do this? Like, he slept with a porn star or something like that. They'll fight this thing. And it's like, but now they're realizing like, oh crap, you know what? We have to be accountable to these things that we're saying. Like, oh wait a second. Like all of our like all these people in Hollywood and stuff now, they can't do the things that they used to do. Like if we're gonna like take this moral stance all of a sudden, like, and they'll sit on that all day long and be like, look at us, look how good we are. Like we're saving women, whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, that's a great thing to do. Like we need to move forward in gender equality, but still like, hey, just recognize that you're not saints. Like nobody in this thing is like perfect.
Absolutely.
And like so, but I think if nothing else, this has definitely brought that to a head into the forefront.
Well, it is interesting though when you look at that and the amount of people that have thrown that back there. I mean, you look at Clinton, and that's one that, especially in the last couple of weeks with the Kavanaugh stuff, so many people I've seen have been like, "Hey, well, you guys put Clinton in office," and it's like, okay, yes, but that was also at a different time. Like,
Clinton womenizing was fine.
Well, no, but I'm saying like it wasn't something that had gone through the Me Too movement that's happened in the last 2 years. Like the things that were going on in Hollywood that now are out of the bag and are like looked at. I mean,
sure, but those happened years ago. Those happened. A lot of that stuff happened when Bill Clinton was president.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Like it was a different time. It was a time where everybody kind of looked the other way and was like, I don't nobody's going to believe this anyway, so I'm going to keep my career. Now it's a different time. I don't think that would fly the same way on that side of things. And I mean,
but I think to the people who you share that like Clinton meme, to what I think to their point is like, hey, you're bringing up this stuff from Kavanaugh when he was in high school or college. And like, that was however many years ago. And like, so if you're willing to do that, dig up something from 36 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Like, and you're willing to overlook this other president, which obviously Clinton, I don't know what his role is right now, but I see that argument. I'm not defending, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but I understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
No, and I mean, I understand that, but I mean, I think that it's one of those things that we just always have to try and grasp for anything that we can ammunition wise, instead of just accepting like, okay, that was back almost 30, 20 plus years ago. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be the case today. He wouldn't be nominated by the Democratic Party today.
Remember when we didn't wear seatbelts?
Yeah.
That was fun.
And Bill Cosby was in Jell-O commercials and not in jail.
J-Lo. All right, everybody. We do not have any voicemails or emails, but you can call us at 475-TUB-CALL and leave us a voicemail, and we'll talk about what you want to talk about. That might be better than what we're rambling about.
Yeah. If you don't like this show, make it better by calling.
Make the TUBCAST great again.
What's that phone number
make
again?
The TUBCAST great.
Yeah, make the TUBCAST great. Not again.
Oh, yeah.
Just
that's
great.
Right.
475-TUB-CALL. Is that right?
Yep. 475-882-2255.
There's Kuiper.
Thank you,
You can also email us at tubcast@minuteatub.com, and we will read your mails. Only the ones you send us, of course.
Yeah.
But before we leave, we must thank our Patreon peeps. These are all the lovely individuals.
Wrong. Hang on. Back up. Rewind. What is that?
Nathan, I hope you didn't rewind too far back.
He's 2009.
2009?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that year better than you do.
Why?
So, because it was more recent for me.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't call it that.
Shut up, Nathan.
Why not?
Eric, thank the people.
Why didn't we call it that? I call it that.
Yeah, it's 2009, man.
2008. All right, we must thank our Patreon peeps. These are all the lovely individuals who donate at the co-producer level or higher each and every month. That means they give $10 or more every single month. As you can see, shining in lovely Patreon coral, that's Jay Oliver and God of Atheists, who are both loyal customers at patreon.com/minuteatub, where you too could be a loyal customer. You could go there and sign up. Maybe it's $1, maybe it's $5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 40, maybe it's 50, maybe it's, I'll stop. But it could be anything. Whatever you're willing to part with on a monthly basis to help support this show that we know you love, we really would appreciate it, and it gives us that motivation to keep going. Go there, give us a little donation, a little sugar, a little cheese, little smackaroos, a little bit
I like cheese.
You give us some of that.
Cheese.
I mean, it will help pay for cheese.
Maybe you can influence the show some way if you do that. You got a little more say. Maybe you'd be like, hey, I like this, but I don't like that, and maybe we'll listen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tell us.
But that does it for
four of us. Will probably be like, hey, yeah, let's try that, and then one of us will have to convince Eric that it's a good idea.
Oh, come on. Give me one example of that. Everett, shut up. All right, there's a lot going on. We're going to be back next week with The Loop and the TUBCAST. That's every Thursday and Tuesday.
Well, and
Just kidding. It's every Wednesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time here at twitch.tv/ManaTub.
It's getting dangerously close to Extra Lifetime.
Yep, that's coming up. Be sure to tune into that. That's going to be on November 2nd, starting at
3 weeks from tomorrow. If you're watching this live,
November 2nd, starting at 7 p.m. We'll be going 24 hours playing games for the kids.
Yes,
the Children's Hospital, the local one here in the Omaha area. We will be helping those kids get better and heal. By your monetary donations. We don't pocket that money, correct?
We
Kyle?
don't. Correct.
We give it to the hospital. We don't even touch it.
The Extra Life is set up in a way that we don't even have to handle any of the money. It is all put in based on Extra Life. So we sign up with them. All of your donations go through Extra Life directly. Mm-hmm. You can, if you go to our site, it's the extra-life.org/team/men in a tub. You can go to that. You can find the person that is your favorite tubber if you want, and go ahead and put in a donation for any of us. It's going to be a friendly competition between all of us. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who won last year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, everybody, we'll see you later. Just tune in if you can. Extra Life is cool and it's fun. But
for
we
the
gotta
kids.
go. We are running late. All right, everybody, we gotta catch the bus. Nathan's got to catch his
Nathan's
horse
gotta
and
catch
buggy
him.
because he's from 2013, but when we rode horse and buggies.
I think I figured it out. According to Twitter, you neuralized me last night.
Oh,
Sorry
about that.
Oh yeah, because you guys were gonna do your I suggested.
hey Nathan, you want to do a Groundhog's Day podcast?
Sure.
All right, let's start recording that right after this. Once we get off the air, we're gonna record that. That'll be up somewhere.
Oh, but Harold Ramis is dead. I just learned that.
Yeah, well, we'll survive. Keep a lookout for the Groundhog's Day cast.
It's not gonna happen.
We're gonna stay here an extra hour and record that right now, Kyle. And you're gonna like it.
Woohoo! All right, let's do it.
Good night, everybody.